Hey there. Today I'm going to go through a series of movements using a foam roller to help you with releasing your hips, to work the fascia a little bit deeper, to help with your hip flexors and your glute medius and piriformis, and of course, glute max too. I have a black foam roller here. This one is a little more dense, meaning it is hard, as opposed to the other foam rollers, white and blue, that are a bit softer. So whatever you have is great, but you definitely want a surface that you can roll into. We're going to start with the foam roller sitting on it. And I use my hands right here, fingertips back, and we're just going to roll back and forth just a little bit, okay? You can feel each hip socket, really roll into it. And that's right where your piriformis originates from. So you're just going to come rolling into each side of it. The glutes also connect into the side joint, the sacrum there. Okay, so just roll back and forth. And make sure you're breathing when you do this. And you really want to use some exhale breaths when you go a little deeper onto the side where you're starting to feel some sensations. One side will be a lot different than the other side, no doubt. Be careful you're not dumping. I want you to keep pushing your chest up. You can bend the elbows, press into your finger pads. So now we're going to roll over to just one side, and I'm going to hit this side that's closest to the screen. Legs straight. You're going to roll over and rest on your forearm. Now the foam roller will always make adjustments and shift around, so just be careful to keep it close underneath you. Take your foot in front of you. Now you have a couple options. You can grab onto the ankle, the knee, or whatever, and roll back and forth. What you're doing is rolling right on the top where my hip bone is to the hip socket. We're rolling right there. Tensor fascia. That's the muscle right in there. It's a band of muscle, which is right where your IT band originates into, all the way down, and then inserts into the side of the knee. So some of you might feel a little more sensation than other when you do this. Okay, so side to side here. Side to side, up and down. Okay, now if you want a little bit more, you simply lift this leg up while you're rolling on it. Okay, putting more pressure into the joint itself. Again, check out that you're not dumping into your shoulder here. You want to push away. Okay, that should feel pretty yummy. And hang out there a bit more. Roll back a bit, roll forward a bit. Just keep finding the sensations, not painful, but finding sensations of releasing. Then come out back. So you'll do that on the other side as well. And then we're going to take that foam roller underneath your butt. And this is just a safer way to get on the foam roller. Roll down on your back, lift your butt, and then the foam roller goes right under your hips. And we're in that same area. We're pressing down. I'm going to continue working this side of the body. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just stretch your leg out. Get a nice big hip flexor stretch. Flex your foot. Pull your toes up. And while you're here, continue the chain of stretch by reaching all the way back with your arm, stretching back. Keep pushing through the heel. And now, you're going to bring the hand back and bend your knee. Now I'm going to play around with this a little bit. This is more than I typically do, but I want to show you what you can do with this. You can start making some circles and feel the bone sinking into the foam roller here. Okay? Just make a few circles in one direction and then the other. Let the weight of the bone drop into the hip socket. Now you're going to take your opposite hand on the knee. I'm going to straighten out the other leg and then start rocking to the side, rocking side to side here. Give yourself about 3 to 5. Every time you rock over the side, you go a little deeper. Now you're going to feel it on the opposite hip, but we're trying to stretch out this side of the glutes and the piriformis. So we're really going to feel more glute on the left side in a different way than you feel stretch on the right side. Okay, so by the 5th time, you're pretty much turned, you've got a pretty deep rotation. Check your shoulder up. Hold on to the side of the foam roller or the top. I like the side so it doesn't slide. And then use this top hand to comb the muscle from the hip. Literally take your fingers, dig into the side. You're gonna feel the IT band, you're gonna feel the quad muscles, and you're just kind of moving them away from the bone. Breathe through that. Now you've got a couple options here. You can let go of your top leg and start pushing out. Feel stretch on the top side, feel other sensations, more fascia releasing on the bottom side. And you push out and you breathe out. You're getting more rotation, now you're into the lower back. Again, shoulder stable. You can also take this leg and turn the thigh bone in and out while you're at it. Again, it's working into this hip. Good, that's it. And now, bend the knee, come back in, realign, readjust your foam roller here. And now put your same, like right hand, right knee, and then open up that knee and stretch this leg out again. Open up the hip. You want to make sure and I want you to see this, I don't want your hips to rock. Keep your hip down. Keep using your left hand and then push out. Breathe in and breathe out. Do that a couple times. And then finally, you can keep this knee over the hip, bring the other knee up. You might want to cross in a figure 4 and go side to side here. Now we're going to repeat it on the other side. While we're down here, we're going to stretch this top leg. We're going to bring this knee in and either using your hand or not, make circles into the hip while you're stretching out, again, this top hip flexor. Reverse the circle. Great. And now let's start taking the knee across. Now we're going into the fascia movement, the fascia release on the lower hip, the stretch in the other hip. And remember, we didn't roll out this other side yet, so it might feel different. We'll finish with that. So you completely have both sides. This is the 3rd time. One or two more times. 4, use your exhale. And then last time here. Now I'm anchoring the bottom shoulder. I'm using this top hand to give me a little bit more rotation. I'm combing the muscle. And I'm assisting the rotation. Really exhale the breath out here. Get lengthened into the side body. And when you can't go any further now, you can even use your hand for support as you kick the leg out and then back in. Exhale, kick out. Inhale, back in. Ooh, this side is tighter. And I'm wondering if it's not because I didn't stretch my IT band out or roll on my IT band here. A couple more. Great. Now, keep it out and then turn. You see my foot turning, but it's really my thigh bone that's turning in the hip socket there. I'm going to bend the knee, bring it back in. I'm going to slide this foot in just to realign myself first. Okay? And then slide the leg back out and start taking the knee out. Other hand on the hip to keep me still, keep the pelvis still, so I get the stretch from the pubic bone to the inner knee. Great. One more. And then come on back in. Bring that foot down, stretch this leg out. And a nice big stretch in both arms out. Now you're going to bring the first leg in. We're getting a bit better stretch on that other side. We want to make sure we Give equal opportunity for both sides to get the same yummy stretches. And then slide that foot back, lift the hips, roll the roller forward, and come down. Now we still have to work on that other side of the hip that we didn't hit. So once again, I'm going to be sitting on the foam roller. Make sure I'm centered there. Fingertips pointing toward the roller. Rock a little side to side. You already feel a difference, can't you? And then I'm going to roll over onto this hip. Straighten the leg first. You're going to roll over onto the hip. Bring the leg in front of you. Adjust yourself and come down onto your forearm. And then start rolling through. Oh, that feels so good. It definitely, you don't want to forget each side. This side is pretty well rolled up, but this side needs a little bit more attention now. I'm rocking front and back. I'm rolling side to side. After you do that a couple times, you're going to lift the leg and you're going to add more intensity into the area. Again, check your shoulder. It's a typical habit of just dropping into it, push away, because that's your movement right from the forearm to roll onto the side. Find that yummy little spot you need to call attention to. And then release. Come on back up. And then let's just rest your hips against the foam roller here. And you can just take your hands behind your head. I'm going to move a little bit so I don't roll myself on the screen. Hands behind the head, support the head, and lift your butt and start rolling into the back. So a little tiny bit. Don't go too far with this. A little goes a long way. And then start going side to side, rib to rib. If you ever want to go back, readjust yourself, start all over. Start there, press into it. Hands behind the head and roll a little bit, side to side. Lift the hips a bit, and then start rolling up and down. Now your feet are what's propelling the move here, pushing into the feet. You might want to go a little further, roll that foam roller back a bit, hands behind your head. And now, this is the part that I think people tend to overlook. Point it all the way onto the side here. Roll all the way onto it. And then roll all the way back. And then I'm going to go to the other side. Your ribs go all the way around, right? They go all the way through, so we want to get all the way underneath and back in. Come down a little bit further. And now to the armpit. There's a lot of muscle in here. The lats start here, so it'll roll into that area. Oh, that is achy. Move it around a little bit, roll back and forth into it, and then the other side. So you have your full body weight on the foam roller. Come back to center, come down a little further. Okay, now into the deltoid. Roll into the deltoid area. And back. Again, my hands are there to help support the weight of my head. You know, your head weighs what, 6 to 8 plus pounds. So you want to stretch your neck out. Oh, those feel good. In a sick sort of way, they feel good. Okay, now finally, I'm going to roll all the way until I'm on my neck. And now roll the neck side to side. You might feel some crunchies here. Be really careful. Okay, especially if you have degenerative disc disease. Tuck the chin in, roll to the side, and nod your chin. There's some really dense tissue here connecting neck to the skull bone that we want to work into. Okay, other side. Again, tuck the chin. Yep, nod yes and no. Every time I do these, I think, why don't I do it every morning? Well, you do it whenever you can, right? Side to side. Easy on the neck here. Nod the chin up and down. And then finally come up to one side and roll yourself up. So lastly, what we can do here is come onto our belly. Take the foam roller away. My hands are pressing. And watch first before you do this. You want to see how my arm bones come in and out. Okay, my head's down, and I'm reaching forward and back. I'm pulling the bones in. Plugging into the sockets. Arms are fairly straight here. Not a lot of elbow bend. Now, press down and lift up and roll back down. Press down, roll. Only come up as far as it feels okay for your spine. The ab muscles, the abdominals need to be pulled in. Pull the shoulder blades in and come in and then press down and stretch it out. A couple more of these. Exhale. Inhale. Hold it there. Keep the chin pulled in. You can shake the head to make sure there's no tension in the neck. Neutral spine. Neutral neck, cervical spine, I should say. And then back down. And release. Go ahead and push yourself up. Okay, I hope that was helpful to help you with rolling into the hips, the SI joint, rolling in your spine, and just practice it as much as you can daily would be great, or at least a couple times a week. Any questions, email me, text me, let me know how I can help you. Bye for now.